But this evening is a very special occasion. We have, of course, our past Rotary International President, Rick King, with us this evening. We will introduce him around about 6:40. But prior to that, we have a few district announcements just to kind of keep you guys up to date on what's going on around the district. We've made this announcement before, but our new Speakers Bureau is up and running on the Rotary5840.org website. The Speakers Bureau is where you can go to update that list about speakers that have come by your club and spoken to your club, and you thought they were engaging, and you want to share with other Rotary clubs. So if you go to Rotary5840.org, please fill out the form with that speaker's information. That way we can share the wealth, especially during this time of Zoom presentation, and then also in the future for in-person clubs, meetings, etc. So please share the wealth. We have 55 clubs in our district, and I'm sure you guys have some amazing speakers that we can all share together. Zone Institute. I hope most of you had a great opportunity to attend over the past week. Zone Institute was amazing, very engaging, so many different topics. Did anyone attend Zone Institute that wants to kind of say a few words for maybe a minute or two? Please unmute yourself and share what you experienced. And if I don't hear anybody, I'll just call on Leanne.
I was going to say, I've been to so many, Xavier, sitting here half of the time. I don't know if I'm in Houston or I could be in Timbuktu. So I just know that I've had a whole bunch of training, whether it's membership, which I'm passionate about. I feel like membership and public image go together. So I've learned a lot about all the different logos, and Pam's been an amazing help. I mean, she's been doing this obviously much longer than I have with Rotary. So there was just a lot of information, and I can't even stress how awesome this Zoom thing is, that I can get my work done and not to have to choose between work and Rotary and all that good stuff. So everybody's just been fantastic. I mean, the moderate, they're amazing. I can't even say enough.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. And next up, just want to announce we do have a district-wide impact initiative going around right now and until the end of this Rotary year, and maybe into the next Rotary year. We're doing our mini library projects. And currently, along with my home club of Alamo Ranch, we have 4 of the clubs who signed up and said, hey, we're going to build some mini libraries and put them in areas, especially some underserved areas throughout our district. So if your club wants to embark on that initiative, please contact Charlie Wasser. He's the project lead for that. And we're going to enhance literacy around District 5840. So please join us for that. And our next announcement and last announcement before we introduce our special guest is our foundation announcement. So I see Pastor Governor Jerry Hardy on the line. Sir, I think you have a few announcements to make in regards to foundation. Feel free to unmute and share.
Yes, unmute. Well, so Rotary Foundation theme month is November. And we're certainly reminding all the clubs that we have lots of Rotary Foundation speakers. So you can get in touch with me, look on the district website, and find somebody to come talk to your club, either Zoom or however you want to do it in the month of November. And of course, we're available in September, October, December, January as well. October's Rotary World Polio Day is in the month of October. So Charlie Vassar will be our polio chair, but getting more information out to you. There's some info on the district newsletter and on the district website as well about that. So we're looking forward to that. Just remind you, in COVID, it's kind of awkward about doing the fundraising side, but that's always part of Rotary, to be engaged in international project opportunities and to do the fundraising, whether it's every Rotarian every year or however you do it in your local club. Thank you, Governor Xavier.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for sharing. Again, we have a very challenging year, but a year that opens opportunities so we can all find ways out of no way to fundraise and definitely donate to the Rotary Foundation. So please get with Jerry Hardy and his team, an amazing team of our foundation committees that can support your club throughout the year. And now, what you all joined in here for today, I have the pleasure of introducing past Rotary International President Rick King. Just a little story, I've probably been to Lone Star Pets probably about 5 or 6 times over the years. And this is a guest speaker that comes to our Lone Star Pets and does an amazing job. I mean, the nostalgia you hear about the efforts and the membership recruitment and just his philosophy on life is just amazing. And every time I walk away, I've been inspired. In the Air Force, we call it re-blue. And so when I hear past Rotary International President Rick King speak, I'm re-Rotary. I feel more enthusiastic about the work that we're doing. Richard is, of course, a past president of Rotary International. He's out of California. He earned his undergraduate and law degrees from the University of California at Berkeley, where he is a member of the California Club, in Order of the Golden Bear. He taught law at Brigham Young University, and he is a distinguished military graduate of the University of California and served as captain in the U.S. military intelligence. And so maybe that's why I hear his words when he speaks in a certain tone, because I used to work in the Green Door Access in the United States Air Force as well. A Rotarian since 1968, he is a member of the Rotary Club of Niles, Fremont, California. He served as trustee of the Rotary Foundation, director and chairman of the Executive Committee of Rotary International's Board of Directors. He has served Rotary as club president, district governor, International Assembly instructor, and an official representative of the president of Rotary International. One of Rotary's most popular speakers, which we're so happy and fortunate to have him here with us tonight. He's addressed Rotary International Conventions, Assemblies, institutes, seminars, conferences, and Rotary Clubs in every state in the US and some 100 countries and counting. As president, he led Rotary International to its greatest one-year growth record in its 100th year history, with 75,000 new members net, a global membership of 1,243,431, and that's 1,158 new Rotary Clubs in the year of 2001 and 2002. So I can't think of any other person that could speak to us this evening and share his philosophy on life, his philosophy on Rotary and membership, and how we can navigate this time of COVID-19 other than past Rotary International President Rick King. Thank you so much, sir, for being here, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Governor. It's a pleasure to be with you in District 5840. Thank you very much for inviting me to be with you tonight. I know that you had a tight budget for bringing in speakers, so you had to have somebody who could come by Zoom rather than airfare. And I appreciate very much the opportunity to be with you. I appreciate the fact that you've heard me speak at PETS and wanted me to speak to your district anyway. Thank you very, very much. Rotary began 115 years ago with the idea that a group of men who had come to Chicago to make their fortune needed to develop friendships in a big city and needed to help each other succeed in business. The whole idea behind Rotary was self-serving. The whole idea was to help people get to know one another and to have friendships and to have love and to enjoy each other's companionship and to help each other succeed in whatever occupation or profession they aspired. And that was the beginning idea behind Rotary. So ever since, in 115 years, anybody who's joined Rotary has come with a classification, because Rotary's classification system was developed that very first night when 4 men, 2 Protestants, 1 Catholic, and 1 Jew, had dinner at Madame Galli's Italian restaurant, crossed the street to 7-Eleven North Dearborn Street, and sat down in Paul Harris's law office and decided to form a new club, which would rotate its meeting places each week in each other's homes or places of business. Because that was the idea about getting acquainted with each other and developing acquaintances and friendships. So we've all come with some sort of an occupation. And I appreciate very much your governor giving me such a warm introduction. It's better than the ones I normally get when I get to PETS, because they've heard me so often. I spoke at a multi-district Pets in Wyoming not so long ago. And the past district governor got up and introduced me. And he said, Rick, we're not going to read your bio. We're sick and tired of reading your bio. We know who you are. We know you're a religious man. So we've written a religious poem especially to dedicate to you in your honor. And he began to introduce me this way. What does reincarnation mean? A cowboy asked his friend. His pal replied, it happens when your life has reached its end. They comb your hair and wash your neck and clean your fingernails and lay you in a padded box away from life's travails. Now the box and you goes in a hole that's been dug into the ground. Reincarnation starts in when you're planted beneath a mound. Then clods melt down just like your box and you who is inside. And then you're just beginning on your transformation ride. In a while, the grass will grow upon your rendered mound, till someday on your molded grave, a lonely flower is found. And say a hoss, oh, I think that's Wyoming for horse, should wander by and graze upon this flower that once was you, but now has become your vegetative bower. Now the posy that the hoss done ate up with another feed makes bone and fat and muscle essential to the steed. But some is left that he can't use, and so it passes through, and finally lays upon the ground this thing that once was you. Then say by chance, I wanders by, and I sees this upon the ground, and I ponders and I wonders at this object that I found. I thinks of reincarnation, of life and death and such. And I come away concluding, Rick, you ain't changed all that much. So I appreciate very much Xavier's warm introduction of my remarks to be with you today. We live in a challenging time. Most of our Rotary clubs now are meeting by Zoom each week. I'm meeting with you tonight in a studio that is owned by my current club president, Dirk Lorenz, who's turned it into a tremendous showroom each week for an innovative and entertaining meeting. And we're calling upon Rotary Club presidents to do something that we didn't know about when we talked to you at PETS. We're talking to you now about running a Zoom meeting, trying to make it innovative, interesting, and entertaining. And yet we know that we're going to lose some members because it's not easy for people to tune into Zoom each week. Ironically, it's more interesting for people to come to a meeting each week, even though they always claim to be busy, where they can shake hands, give a hug, and talk face to face with their fellow members, their friend. It's very hard to do that at a Zoom meeting. And so we have to face the fact that innovative leadership is required this year in order not only to keep our membership retained, but to build membership in the world's oldest, most powerful, and most prestigious service organization. We're very fortunate, you and I, to belong to Rotary. I don't know whether you can remember the name of your district governor when you joined Rotary. You might not even know the name or remember the name of your club president. You certainly don't know the name of your international director. And I know for sure you don't know the name of your international president. All of these people are quickly forgotten. But I'll bet if I press you, you remember the name of your sponsor, the name of that individual who invited you to come to a Rotary meeting and who invited you to become a Rotarian. I remember my sponsor 50 years plus later, a kind educator who was persistent in coming and inviting me to join him simply to visit a Rotary Club meeting. His name was Paul Arrett, and I love him to this day, even though he's long gone. He was our district governor years later. and a genuine giant in the Rotary work. I'm always proud of the fact that he persisted and was patient and waited to make me a Rotarian. And I'll bet you remember the name of the individual who helped you too, who helped you become a Rotarian. A number of years ago, the president of Rotary International, who was then from Florida, Herb Brown, a great businessman, a great innovative leader, asked me to serve as the membership chairman for Rotary International worldwide. And so I sat down in my den one night here in California in Silicon Valley. And I thought to myself, why am I a Rotarian? What's in it for me? What's in it for anybody who joins Rotary? Why should anybody join Rotary? And I came up with 20 answers to the questions. Why should someone join Rotary? Let me give you the 20 answers that I came up with that night. These applied to me. There may be others that apply to you a little more differently. There may be less, there may be more. But these are the 20 reasons why I thought it was a benefit to be a member of Rotary. First, friendship. In an increasingly complex world, Rotary provides one of the most basic human needs, the need for friends and fellowship. It is one of the 2 reasons why Rotary began in 1905. Second, business development. The second original reason for Rotary's beginning. Everyone needs to network. Rotary consists of a cross-section of every business community. Its members come from all walks of life. Rotarians help one another and collectively help others. Third, personal growth and development. Fourth, leadership development. Fifth, citizenship in the community. Sixth, a continuing education each week at the Rotary Club meeting. 7, fun. Rotary is fun, a lot of fun. The meetings are fun. The club projects are fun. Social activities are fun. And the service is fun. 8, the development of public speaking skills. Someone once asked a group of multi-million-dollar income business executives in this country, what were the 6 things they feared most about their occupation and their job? Most people thought it would be dying, but dying was actually 6th. The thing that these biz people, all of whom made millions of dollars every year, heading up big corporations, the thing that bothered them the most was a fear of public speaking. That was the most fearful thing they faced. And Rotary gives every opportunity to a Rotarian to develop skills in public communication and public speaking. 9, citizenships in the world. Every Rotarian wears a pin that says Rotary International. It doesn't say the Rotary Club of San Antonio, Texas, or the Rotary Club of New York City, or the Rotary Club of Tirana, Albania, or the Rotary Club of London, Rome, or Paris, or the Rotary Club, my club, Niles Fremont Club. The pin says Rotary International, and it's the internationality of Rotary that makes us all citizens of the world. 10, assistance when traveling. And Rotary is filled with legions of stories of people, Rotarians, who have needed help all of a sudden from some fellow Rotarian somewhere in a foreign country. 11, entertainment. 12, the development of social skills. 13, family programs. 14, the development of vocational skills. 15, the development of ethics. 16, cultural awareness. 17, prestige. 18, nice people. 19, the absence of a secret creed. And 20, the opportunity to serve others. The thing that really interested me about this list of 20 was that only one of them talks about benefiting others, people who are not Rotarians. That's the last one, the 20th one, the opportunity to be of service to other people. The first 19 are all self-serving. They are all things that happen to the individual who joins Rotary, the benefits that come to the Rotarian. We've always known one of our slogans, they profit most who serve the best. And so it is that the benefit that comes to an individual Rotarian is amazing. And who is that Rotarian who touched you? Who invited you to join our organization? Who called you to something higher than self? Who made you a better husband, a better wife, a better father, a better mother, a better family member? Who made you a better professional, a better citizen, a better humanitarian? Who gave you the best friends in the world, people who care about you and love you in your own community where you live and work? Who introduced you to the best people in the world of every race, religion, color, culture, language, ideology, and nationality in 37,000 communities, in 37,000 Rotary Clubs, in over 200 countries and geographical regions of the world? And who made all of them your friends? Who made you welcome in 37,000 Rotary Club meetings every week, somewhere in the world? Who made you feel at home? Who made you say, I am your friend and you are my friend? And together we wear the Rotary wheel that says we are global citizens of a vast, private, United Nations of every race, every color, every creed, every language, every culture, every business, every profession, every occupation, every ethical background, every educational background, every person who's different. We come together every week in 37,000 Rotary Clubs all over the world. And we come together breaking bread, doing God's work on earth. It's an amazing organization. And who made you part of this? Who invited you to become a Rotarian? In my 52 years as a Rotarian, I have traveled the globe many times over doing Rotary work. I've been to 135 countries, and I've addressed Rotary clubs all over the world many, many times. And so it was that a number of years ago, I was invited to come to Addis Ababa in Ethiopia to help build Rotary. Rotary had been very strong in that part of Africa for many years. The Emperor, Haile Selassie, was the patron of Rotary, and he was very prominent in Rotary work. And for many years, Rotarians were involved in building that nation, a country of land of Queen of Sheba, a great land of historic and cultural people, and building Rotary. But then the communists took over, and the country really went into disrepair. It became a treason to be a Rotarian, and many Rotarians were killed. Many of them could no longer meet as Rotarians. And so for many years, there was no Rotary in Ethiopia. But the one day, the communists were kicked out of Ethiopia, and Rotary began to rebuild. And they asked me if I would come and help them rebuild Rotary in Addis Ababa. To be honest with you, I didn't really want to go because we'd been traveling on Rotary assignments for 5 weeks. And when you're on a Rotary assignment, you go to a lot of receptions, you have press conferences, you have a lot of meetings, a lot of speeches, a lot of projects to visit, a lot of duties. And it's really not a vacation. It's Rotary work. I've always thought it was the greatest work I've ever been involved in. Even though I've been a lawyer for 52 years, I believe that the greatest work I've ever done is the work I've done in Rotary. in building the humanity of others and in building my own humanity. I believe that no matter what success we achieve, no matter how much money we make, no matter how many college degrees we have, no matter how much applause we get from peers in our community, the most important success we do is what we do in the building of humanity, in the building of mankind. And that no success, no matter what we achieve, can compensate if we fail in the business of mankind. And Rotary engages us in the most important business any of us, you and I, will ever engage. And so we went to Addis Ababa. We landed at midnight. It was a very poor country after 20 years of communist rule. And we landed, the lights at the airport couldn't come on. And we walked down the back of the plane stairs. And there was a red carpet laid out for us with holes in it, but it was the best they could do. And standing at the foot of the stairs, I'll never forget him. Just as I'll never forget so many people I've met over the years in Rotary work. There he was, standing there with tears dripping down his cheeks. A nice man, 65 years old, a lawyer who had been an advisor to the Emperor Haile Selassie, 20 years earlier. But they had put him in jail when the communists came to power. They took away his law practice. They took away his home. They took away one of his children and killed him. They took away his bank account. They took away everything that he had. And they put him in jail. And they told him they were going to execute him. And there he sat for 20 years in jail. And there he was that night at the foot of the stairs as Sherry and I walked down the back of the plane. I knew who he was. I knew his story. And I gave him a hug. And together we wept. And he said, "Rick, thank you for coming." And I said, "It's a privilege. All we want is 8 hours sleep somewhere, and we're ready to go. We've been on a busy journey." He looked down at the ground, and I was afraid there was not room for him to give me a place to sleep. And he said, "Rick, we have a room for you, and you can sleep. But you can sleep for 4 hours because we want you to get up at 5 o'clock and come with us to see a project that we need you to see." I didn't dare look at my wife because I knew that she was as tired as I was. But she knew, and I knew, that we were going to get up at 5 o'clock and go visit this project. "How far away is it?" I asked. 7 hours drive. "How do we get there?" "In a Jeep. And we leave at 5 a.m. And he said, "Yes, we do." And so off we drove at 5 o'clock in the morning after 4 hours sleep. I saw the pothole, dirty roads, children begging by the side of the roads, the country torn apart by 20 years of communist rule. And eventually, at about 1 o'clock in the middle of the day, we came to a big meadow. And the president of the Rotary Club said to me, "Rick, we want you to follow this guide, and he will show you our project." The guide was blind, but he knew exactly where he was going. He was a blind Rotarian, a member of the new club. And I followed him. And eventually, after walking across the meadow, we came to a meadow. And there in the meadow was a water well, a simple water well. I've seen these water wells all over the globe. And I thought, what is so special about this well? But then I noticed that a half a dozen young boys standing on the other side of the well. They were holding a little brass cup down by their side. One boy was the spokesman. He was about 10 years of age, I guess. And he said, "Mr. King, thank you for our well. Thank you for coming to visit our well." And then I saw the sign on the side of the well, and I understood. Because there was a sign posted on the well. And they'd been waiting for an American Rotary leader to come and see this sign. And the sign said, "This well was dug with contributions from Rotarians to the Rotary Foundation in the United States of America." I turned to my blind guide. What do they do with the cups? And he said, "Rick, they dip them in the well every 48 hours. They get to fill them half full. And every 2 days, they get to drink half a glass of water. That's the amount of water they get to drink every other day." And I said, "Do we save them all?" And he said, "No. Some die every day. But we're saving more and more, thanks to the Rotarians who contribute so much to the foundation. We're digging more wells, and we want to thank you. When you go back home to the Rotarians in America, thank them for us." I went back to my small room in the hotel that they'd set aside for me. And I thought to myself, once again, as tired as I was, I've been touched by humanitarian mankind projects. And I am the one who benefits the most. It is my own humanity, my own mankind that is developed, that is better than it was before I saw those boys at the well. Several years later, I was the president of Rotary International. And I was sitting in my office at Rotary World Headquarters in Evanston, Illinois, one day. The president's office in Rotary International is vast. It's bigger than the Oval Office of the President of the United States. And in this vast office are gifts, trophies, wonderful mementos that have been handed to the president of Rotary International by leaders of countries from all over the world. All kinds of gifts, priceless, and they usually are there until the president of Rotary leaves office, and then the gifts come out to his home, wherever he lives. And in my home in Livermore, California, I have many of these gifts that were handed to me over the year as president of Rotary International. But when I want to renew my own covenant, my own mankind, my own humanity, my own membership in Rotary, I pick up a little brass cup that is in the corner. It's not a very big trophy. It's not like some of the gifts that were given to me. Sterling silver, solid gold, wonderful presents, wonderful gifts. This is a little brass cup. It's about this big. I don't think it's worth 50 cents. But that day at in my office at Rotary headquarters, the secretary popped in and she said, "Rick, there's a group here from Ethiopia. They don't have an appointment, but they're hoping that you could spare them a few minutes." And I said, "Bring them in." And in they came, 20 Rotarians from Ethiopia. They remembered my visit years earlier. And the spokesman said, "President Rick, we don't have anything of value to give you, but we wanted to give you something, a memento of your visit to Addis Ababa when you went to a water well after a 7-hour drive." And he gave me a wooden box. And I said, "May I open it now?" And he said, "Yes, open it now." I opened it. And inside was this little brass cup. And they engraved 3 words on the side. You touched us. What would I pay for that cup? How much would I give? Where would I go? Where could I buy it? What has it done for me all these years? A little brass cup, not worth 50 cents. You touched us. I put my arm on this Rotarian's shoulder and I said, you're mistaken. I didn't touch you, but you touched me. And so I want to say to you today, I appreciate your work in your district there in Texas. It's an honor for me to be with you. I always think Rotarians are the best people in the world, doing God's work on earth. Every second of the day, we make the lame to walk, the blind to see, the deaf to hear. We clothe the naked. We feed the hungry. We heal the sick. We save lives. We bring hope. We bring peace. We do God's work on earth. How lucky we are that somebody took the time once, some time ago, to invite us to a Rotary meeting, to invite us to join this vast group of citizens all over the world who are every day, step by step, making the world a little bit better. There was a president of Rotary International who was a friend of mine from Salt Lake City. He served as our international president 1966, 1967. He was a quiet theologian, a man of God, and a great president of Rotary International. His name was Richard L. Evans. And when he was president of Rotary International, he mounted the podium of our international convention in Nice, France, the south of France. And he spoke these words to the Rotarians of the world. It sometimes seems that we live as if we wondered when life is going to begin. It isn't always clear just what we're waiting for, but some of us sometimes persist in waiting so long that life slips by, finding us still waiting for something that has been going on all the time. There is no reason to doubt good intentions, but when in the world are we going to begin to live as if we understood that this is it? This is life. This is our time, our day, our generation, our one chance to do something for somebody else. This is the life in which the work of this life is to be done. This is it. Whether we are thrilled or disappointed, busy or bored, givers or takers, this is life, and it's all we've got, and it's passing. What in the world are we waiting for? Every one of us who wears the Rotary wheel can follow the words of the second president of the United States, John Adams, when on one occasion he said, there are only 2 kinds of people who ever really count in this world. Those people who make commitments and those people who keep them. And we who are privileged to wear the Rotary wheel are obligated to do both. Give your all to Governor Xavier this year and have a great year. God bless you. Thank you.
Wow. Oh my goodness. So, sir, thank you so much for being here with us this evening. I'm holding back tears. I'm always inspired by your talks, your knowledge, your motivation, and encouragement. And I'm so happy to share this with members not only in District 5840, but we also have individual Rotarians all the way from Nigeria, from Prague, Benin, around the world to hear you speak this evening. And so again, thank you so much for being here and sharing this story with us. I'm sure everyone's going to walk away from this engagement this evening inspired and ready to do the work of Rotarians with a little bit more oomph in our steps. Wow. Does anyone have any questions? I'm not sure if past Rotary International President Rick King wants to stick around for maybe 5 minutes and answer any questions. If not, that's fine. But if anyone have any questions, please feel free to put in the chat. And sir, you can see a few of the engagements on the right side in the chat window. Everyone just thanking you. Well, my goodness. Yeah, so it's hard to hold back. And I know this is being recorded, so I was trying to keep my eyes dry there. Can someone send me a virtual tissue? But again, thank you so much for being here, sir. Wow. Okay, so
Governor, I can only say that if there aren't any questions, they must all be asleep.
Well, I have a question for you, sir. If you were RI president during this time of COVID-19, I guess in which way would you lead? I mean, are we headed in the right direction as an organization during this time, doing virtual meetings, trying to find ways to do virtual fundraisers, etc. What would you do? What advice would you give to the Rotarians on this call?
I would do 4 things. First, I would set a specific goal for my membership growth in my club this year. 10 members, 20 members, 30 members, because without a specific goal, most clubs fail at membership increase. So I would write down a specific numerical goal, what I wanted to accomplish by the end of the year. Second, I would develop a business plan on how to reach that goal. We've had many business plans in Rotary in membership development that have been successful. One of the ones that I think worked very well, but I could give you dozens of them, was right in my own club here a few years ago, when the president of the club said, all I'm asking you to do is bring a guest every week. Now we're inviting our guests now to join us on a Zoom meeting because we're not meeting physically as are most Rotary clubs all over the world. But nonetheless, you invite somebody to come. And out of all of those that were invited, I think that year we developed a membership increase of something like 12 or 14 net increase for the year. And it wasn't a lot of work. It was simply taking the time to invite somebody to come to a Rotary meeting. Now today at my Rotary Club, the speaker was the sheriff of Alameda County. I know him because he and I sit on the Boy Scout board together for San Francisco. But I was fascinated with his talk. I learned a lot. And I was thinking to myself, there were 2 or 3 people that I could have invited to sit in on that talk who would have found it have been fascinating and interesting. And so it's important that we invite people to join us as one way of developing a business plan. Another way of developing a business plan is to say to certain members of the club, you have the month of July, other members have the month of August, other members have the month of September, other members have the month of October. And your job is to bring 3 potential members to the club. You don't give them the job of joining the club because that's very difficult for some people to do. Some Rotarians are very shy about inviting people to join Rotary. All you do is you say your job is to bring 3 people who could be members, citizens of the community somewhere, to our meeting that very week. And I think that's a very good thing to do. But I would develop a business plan because it's no good having a goal without a plan to achieve the goal. Third, I would work the business plan. Every week at the meeting, it's important to spend 5 minutes talking to people about what we're doing about membership. There's no good just announcing it at the beginning of the year and then forgetting about it the rest of the year. You have to work the business plan. So first, you have to develop a specific goal. Second, you have to develop a business plan. Third, you have to work the business plan. And fourth, you've got to recognize, peer recognition, those members of the club who really do the job. Because in Rotary, peer gratitude, peer recognition is one of the thanks that we all get for members of our club for doing Rotary work. Everybody likes peer recognition. And those people who go out of their way to actually do the job for you as a club president need to be thanked and need to be applauded, and they need to be given some special recognition because they are the ones who make Rotary work. So I don't want to take all your time, but these are the 4 specific things I would do if I were president of a Rotary Club this year in terms of the pandemic challenge that we face. I can tell you, just closing this thought, that I wish I could bottle what my own club president is doing this year. He's tried to make our meetings entertaining, interesting, innovative. He's even got me singing a song every week. And so I know his budget is low, but he's doing a wonderful job, very entertaining and innovative club president who's made our meetings fun to be at, even though we're not there physically present. And that club president who can think of I'll just give you one illustration. He announces at the beginning of each week by way of a video that this is a production, an entertainment, like a television show. And all of the members of the club are shown on the screen. And then they introduce him as if he were Johnny Carson or Jimmy Kimmel or any of these great late night television hosts. And he comes on and he's very, very energetic as our club president. He's made the Zoom meeting actually, if anything, as much fun, if not more fun, than the regular physical meetings are. So I suggest that every club president can come up with some way to make the meeting more interesting. I didn't mean to give you another speech, Governor.
No, that's perfectly fine. And I think those are tools, those four suggestions are awesome. And I think it would definitely carry us through the rest of the year. Any other questions from the audience? Feel free to unmute yourself if you have any questions. We'll take one more. Don't be shy. Oh, PDG John Hutchison is here. I know John has a question.
Thanks, Xavier, for putting me on the spot here. I want to ask past Rotary International President, how many songs have you sung at Rotary meetings in the past 25 years?
Well, without exaggeration, probably 1,000 or more. I've sung songs at Rotary meetings all over the world. And a lot of my speeches, I start with a song. I performed work professionally in Las Vegas in the days when Frank Sinatra ran the town. And solo performers had great opportunities. And I had Shaw Hitchcock in Studio City write my show. And I learned a lot of songs. And most of my songs are done with an arrangement done by a professional arranger with a band or an orchestra accompaniment. My club president's got me singing them a cappella solo. I usually burp in the middle of them. Sherry says, you're nuts to do that. But when my club president gives me a request, as we all learned in Rotary, you can't say no to the club president or the district governor, for that matter. So I know for a fact that Frank Sinatra recorded 2,200 songs in his 60 years career. And at one time, I think I knew them all, because in those days, we could go down the street to the Sands Hotel. I performed at the Desert Inn. And we could go down the street to the Sands Hotel and watch Frank Sinatra. We could sit there ringside and watch this master craftsman sing his songs. And I, of course, loved it. It would be like a golfer watching Tiger Woods in person, or a basketball player watch Steph Curry. Anyway, anybody who sings songs, the American Popular Songbook, was always amazed sitting ringside to watch Frank Sinatra. And I learned a lot of songs. One song I sang in Barcelona was at the International Convention when I was International President. And it's a song from my repertoire that I sang in Las Vegas, Granada. And the host told me we were going to have a big event in a bull ring in Barcelona, Spain. And he said, Rick, we want you to drive around the bull ring, pull in the carriage, you and your wife, waving to the thousands of Rotarians who are at this event. And he said, we might want you to sing. And I said, I don't want to sing outdoors in a bull ring. So keep the horses moving. But he didn't do that. In the middle of the bull ring, he stopped the horses and he announced to the whole audience, the horses want to hear the president sing. So I thought, okay, here I go. And so I sang, Granada, I'm falling under your spell. And the horses turned around and appreciated my singing. I don't know whether the Rotarians did because it was all a cappella. But in any event, I've probably sung thousands of times over the years. Thank you for that question, Governor.
Well, thank you for your answer, and thank you for focusing on the capacity to connect the behavior that we want, the feelings that we have about that, and the thoughts that go with it. And music is a great tool for that connection.
Thank you so much.
Governor, what was your occupation, John?
I do financial planning.
Do you sing?
Some, yes, matter of fact, I do.
Well, I thought you did because you have a good speaking voice.
Been a
So when I come to
Toastmaster for a
Texas
while
next
too.
time, I'll have to hear you sing.
Okay.
Maybe it's a world tour. Now, John, we didn't budget for Rick to sing tonight, and so that's going to come out your last year's budget.
Okay, man, I left you a big fat surplus, bro.
I knew not to call on you next time. I'm not calling on you. So, no, again, these are special moments. I am so happy.
Thank you for your leadership this year. You're doing great. This is the excellent way to start.
Thank you so much, John. I appreciate it. And like I said, these are special moments. These are moments that you're going to remember for a lifetime. And like I said, every year that I've gone to Lone Star Pets and Rick has spoken, I've just walked away with so much encouragement, not only as a Rotarian, but just as a person in general. And he makes you think about your life and what you're doing in this world, because we only get one here on earth. And so, like he said, our job is to benefit and take care of humanity. And I'm happy to say that I'm surrounded by good friends around the world at that on this call tonight to witness the legendary Rick King speak to us. And sir, thank you again for being here with us. We have no more questions for you. Thank you so much to Charlie Wasser, my chief of staff, for connecting us with Richard Flanders out in California, who connected us with past Rotary International President Rick King. And so again, thank you all for being here. Next up, we do have on October 8th, the San Antonio Mayor, Ron Nierenberg, who will be speaking with us about all things going on in San Antonio and around South Texas, especially with COVID-19. And what we as Rotarians can do to benefit not only San Antonio, but other municipalities where we live, work, and play. And so please join us on October 8th. And of course, on October 22nd, we're going to have our Polio Plus panel. It's going to be an amazing deal. We have some polio survivors who will join us to speak. And so please tell a friend to join the district 5840 Town Hall, and I hope to see you all soon. Take care. Please feel free to stick around and fellowship if you want. Thank you, Richard Flanders, again. Thank you, Rick King, for joining us this evening, sir.
Thank you,
I'd
Governor.
like to say thank you, thank you.